Okay, so this time we will learn about the use of the full adders. Not all the uses, but just a general use. I'll give an example of the addition slash subtraction. So I'll do a setup that multiply, sorry, that does plus and minus. So well, the easiest thing is just to start with the full adders. If you aren't quite following up on how to do them in this video, I've done another video on how to do them, so you can go check that out. I'll put that in the description. But making full adders isn't a hard thing. It's just the hard thing about them is actually just to get them wired together the right way. At least in my opinion it is. I'm not sure what your opinions might be. Now, as you can see, we have the full adder here. Now what I'll do with this, oh wait a second, I will make a oops, okay, gotta expand it more. Yeah, there we go. See, now I got this entire thing selected with the world edit, and I'm gonna do a 4-bit adder. So I'm gonna stack this 3 times, and now here comes the important part. As you saw earlier, I marked 4 spaces, so the 3 and 1 more, and then I added this one line here extra, so it connects over to the next adder. That connection is very important on all of them. And make sure that block's always there, so you're going to get a connection between the bottom one and the top one. Now, what we have here are 4 times 2 inputs, so the one will be A and the other will be B, and that will be the same on the all. But for example, on the, I'm just gonna mark these with numbers now. If you know binary, these line up in binary, so that would be 1, that would be 2, that would be 4, and this would be 8 with 8. And if you want to add numbers together, if you say I want to add, let's say I have a 6 and a 2 I want to add together, that would be 8. So on the one side I'd get in a 6, which would be a 2 and a 4, so I'd activate a 2 and a 4. Remember that one of them is A and the other is B. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, all the way through. So input A, which will, I'm not sure if I'm messing this up now, but this is A and this will be A. So put 4 and 2 into A, and I'll put 2 into B. So it will be 6 plus 2. So what it will give me now is, it will actually give me an 8. So remember, this is number bit 1, bit 2, bit 4, and bit 8. So the output of this one is with 8, output of this one with 4, and so on. And it would go the exact same with the other direction. You could stack this infinitely. Well, you need a lot of repeaters, and you can't go past the border of your render distance, but yeah. Now, this is good and all, and it has great potential, but you can actually hook this up so it has double the potential. Now, to save myself some time, I'm just gonna copy this instead of actually making a new one. Gonna mark one more though. Expand 3. Got the entire thing covered. Yes, and I'll copy this through world edit. Now, I don't want to get more into this right now. The only thing you gotta remember, if you only use this model, remember that they shift. So the 1 from the one input and the 1 from the other input have to go both into this, and the 2 of the one input and 2 of the second input go here. So for say if A1 was 1 and B1 would go here, and A2 and B2 and so on. Just remember to not connect the same ones to the same bit. Always the ones, well, yeah, the ones that keep together from each side. So now I want to show you is a way to make this design also do subtraction. Keep in mind the subtraction of this won't go to negative, it will just go to 0. So you could say, you could do 5 minus 5 would be 0, but you couldn't do 5 minus 6. That gave you a very weird output. Now the first thing I have to do is wire up a XOR gate to this. So let's wire that up. It's actually the same as the first one here, except for one torch. So like this, redstone there, and redstone there. So the 2 inputs will be here, and the third input will be here. So basically what we have now is we do still have our input A and B. Now from now on it's important, I'll talk about this later, it's important that you keep this one as input A all the way through. As no matter how many you do, keep that input A. So this will be the number you subtract from. So say you do 8 minus 4, make sure that the number 8 would be on the right line of the input here and not the left line. The left line is the number you subtract from the A line. So say 8 minus 4, this would be 8, this would be the 4. Of course this is bit number 1, so it would be the other bits, but keep in mind that the binary input from A is on the right side and the binary input from B is on the B side, on the left side. Now I'll just get rid of that. The last input here determines whether it is if it's subtracting or if it's adding. So if it's off, it's adding. I'll just show you here. The signal just goes straight through. There's no change, and of course this just goes straight through. So that would be just like adding, but the XOR gate will do something to this. Now the first thing I'll do now is I'll stack this over. So let me just think a little for this. Obviously I'm not that clever. So I'm gonna mark it from I guess from here to here. Now I was doing a 4-bit one earlier, so I'll stack this 3 times again. Okay, so you see now all of these connected up, so they made bridges. Oh, that's not good. I have to undo that, make a new selection. That's my fault, sorry. So mark this again. I'll expand this up 3 blocks, and I'll expand 1 more in this direction, and I'll add the extra connection. There we go. Now I'll stack this 3 times. There we go. Okay. I'll just mark this again. Oops, not 1A, B, A and B, A and B. This might be kind of annoying for you, but keep in mind this is just a demonstrational video. Okay, so now you see all the left inputs on this XOR gate are all connected up through this wire here. Now it's actually unnecessary to have this over here. I'll just keep the signs. and I'll make this the input for now. So basically this line being on or off determines whether it's subtracting or adding. So let's make a test. Let's say, wait, let me number the bits again. So it's still like over there. This is 2, 4, 8. I'll just mark them. 4 and 8. And now before I do anything else, I gotta make sure that these are connected again. Just like over there, just this time the distance between them is bigger because of this XOR gate. So keep that in mind. Just make sure they are all connected. There we go. So now let's try. Well, might as well just try 8 plus 2. So I'll activate 8 plus 2. So keep in mind I said 8 on line A and 2 on line B. Now this is pretty straightforward. That will just give me 2 and 8. But if I now, one thing I forgot, very important, is you gotta use this signal and also run it into there. That's important, that connection. If that's not there, this connection, then it won't work. So now, instead of being 8 plus 2, this will be 8 minus 2 if I pull this lever. So now it should change. You see, 1, 2, 4, 8. So 2 and 4 are on, which means 6, and we added in 8. It was 8 minus 2, so that works. Now let's try a different one. Let's try 12 minus 10, so that would be 8 and 4. So on line A we have 8 and 4, which is 12, and we'll minus 10 from that, so 8 and 2. So now it's 12 minus 10, which should give us 2, and it does, right here. Okay, so keep in mind lowest numbers first and highest numbers last. Now, when coming through the addition here, so I'll turn this off again. Now it's just adding numbers. One thing you gotta remember is if you're doing numbers, adding numbers together higher than, well, in general, just if you add together high numbers, you actually have an additional output here from the carry out on the last bit. So you could wire that out, and that would be your 16 output. So what I did over here is I said 8 plus 8, which together equals 16. Now I could also say, if I activated those two, this would be 12 plus 12, so it would be 24, so it would activate the line 16 and 8, and together those two would form, magically enough, 24. So, if there are any further questions, I'll just show this in Red Logic 2. It's exactly the same thing, it's just smaller, and I'll be right back and show you. Okay, I had one last thing to add to this. If you do the additional line here, the skeleton died. The additional output here, you know, where you plus the 8 and the 8, and that would equal 16. You have to wire up one thing. When you do the negative, you have to wire up this thing over here. So you take the negative line that's activated and run it into this old school repeater. So what we have is a signal running into this old repeater. It's a double inverter, so it inverts redstone and then inverts again. So that will do nothing, but this line will have the chance to disable this output. So just keep in mind and remember to do this. So the negative line goes into the left input of all the XOR gates. It goes into the carry in of the first bit, all the left inputs to the XOR gates and into this last repeater here, disabling it from working at all when negative is activated. So if we were to subtract 8 from 8, that would be 0, so no outputs are on. But if you turn this on, it would give us 16 as our output, because then this line disables and enables this to actually activate the line. So keep in mind, remember to do this. Very important if you have that additional carry out. Yeah, just wanted to say that. Okay, so for starters, I'll just show you the adder I made. I haven't actually added the subtraction yet. So this is just as the other one. All the green ones will be input A, and all the red ones would be input B. So let's test something out. I guess 2 plus 2, that'll equal 4. So bit 1, bit 2, bit 4, bit 8. And again, here we have the output for bit 16. I'll just use black wire. Now, just for you to see the layout, it cuts over here. So, like if you take anything behind this repeater and behind this block, so that would be the full adder. Yeah, and it's just 4 of those stacked together with the carry out into the carry in of the next one, the carry in the first one, and so on. Now, I'll just do the oops, it's getting night time here. I'll just do the XOR gates, and I'll show you how it's all looking when you've added the subtraction to this. Okay, so now that is done, I'll just walk you through what I did. I removed before there was just a red line running into here, and then this repeater would be on that black line where I'm pointing right now, pointing that way. So replace that with a XOR gate running, having the 2 inputs, where again the one input, the left input, is the negative line, and I did that all the way through. So left input, left input, left input, left input, and here is the input for the negative. You could do that anywhere. There's no rule where. Just make sure everything connects up. And again, as I said last in the normal adder, no, in the vanilla one, remember to make this old school repeater with the disable thing, this thing here, right? That's very important. And also remember to put the carry in on the first bit there too. So connect it to the carry out of the last bit and the carry in on the first bit, and then into all these XOR gates. And again, the green line is A, and this case black line, before that was red, is B. And always, 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 for every bit, remember A on the right side, B on the left side. So you make sure that you have the first number that you subtract or add to, well, you subtract from and add to, that's on the right side on the input A. So let's give this a test. I'll do 8 and 4, so that will be 12 plus 10, so that would be 8 and 2. So B is set to 10 and A is set to 12. Now, what that would give us is a 2 and a 4, that would be 6. It's giving us a 16. So, oh my god, I'm bad at my math right now. You can figure it out, that's the right output, right? 10 and 12, 22, yeah. 16 and 6, yeah, that's 22. Now, I'll activate the negative line, so that will disable this one from working. As you see, it would try to work, but it can't since it's getting disabled by this, and the carry in on the first one is on. And yeah, so now it's saying 12 minus 10, which is 2. So this is working. If you have any questions, as always, just ask. Came up with the adder design of these by myself after I've watched the normal ones, the vanilla ones, and kind of proud that I figured out how to make them. There are probably more compact ways, but I figured out this one. So keep in mind, this is infinitely stackable, but just keep in mind, first input, every left input of the XOR gates, and the last output here, the carry out of the last bit, needs to have this special repeater thingy. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll check out my other videos on calculator parts too.
WW. What do you figure that is? You got me. Say my name.
Aerating, bitch. Got me some whites. Got me some whites.